Yo, what's up, guys? Ay, 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 caramba. Jesus, bodybuilding world. What's wrong with you people? What do you mean, you people, Dolce? What do you have to say about it? You've never competed in bodybuilding or classic bodybuilding or physique. There was the one time I tried bikini, though, but that was back in college, so we won't talk about that. Really, though, this is news. Jeremy Buendia versus Sergio Olivier Jr. versus Dexter Jackson versus all of open bodybuilding. The battle royale has begun. For real, guys? For real? This is crazy. And of course, I'm talking about it. It's a headline. It's not a clickbait because I wanted to talk about how ridiculous it is. So apparently, Jeremy Buendia makes a factual statement that bodybuilding, open bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, we could say open, male and female open bodybuilding was dying a decade or so ago. I was a fan. I've been a fan through the 80s. I'm 42 years old. I was a fan of bodybuilding back in the Haney era when Haney was winning Mr. Olympias. I've attended the Night of Champions multiple times in New York when I lived in New Jersey. Multiple bodybuilding shows. I've trained with bodybuilders, friends with bodybuilders, blah, 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 blah. I never put on the skivvies, though, and never stepped on stage because I don't have the structural aesthetics to do so. I saw Flex Wheeler in 1993. I said, yep, nope, will never look like that. Awesome. High five. I'm going to keep wrestling and stay in combat sports and strength sports. But I digress. I love training with bodybuilders because the fuckers train hard and they're dedicated and they're focused. Much respect. But that being said, come on, guys. It's a fucking pageant. No disrespect, but it's a fucking pageant. You are athletes. You train like athletes, but you compete in a pageant. It's not a sport. It's not a sport, and it's not the fucking UFC. So stop acting all tough and acting like you're fucking tough guys on Instagram. You look like silly, silly people. You look silly. Jeremy Buendia said something that was factual. Bodybuilding was dying a decade or so ago. He said 5, 6, 7 years. A decade or so ago, open bodybuilding was dying simply because the physiques had changed so grotesquely as determined by the general population. There was less of a mass appeal. I enjoy it. I like watching the spectacle of it. Not a problem. But the average athlete trainee, they're just not going to fucking, purchase. They're not going to consume it. And then men's physique came along and women's bikini came along, and that became more attainable. There was a lower threshold to entry. So what happened? There was a big boom in attendance. There was a big boom in competitors. There was a big boom in general mass consumption of the sport. That's a good thing. What Buendia said was not wrong. The way he went about it, and he's often triggering on his social media. I don't actually personally follow his account, but I see it from time to time in memes, and I respect the dude, right? Fucking dude looks awesome, trains hard, all that cool shit, as do the open bodybuilders, the 212s, the classic. All you guys and girls train fucking hard as shit, but you sound so silly. You sound so silly. Dexter Jackson, I think his take on it was pretty cool. He did an Insta Live, and I did watch that. I'm a fan of Dexter Jackson. He has that nice blend of an aesthetic physique, yet still big and powerful while not being too overly big. I think Dexter Jackson's physique is one that does have mass appeal. So it's nice to see him kind of represent and have a deeper discussion. He was a little belittling towards four-time physique Mr. O, Jeremy Buendia, and Dexter Jackson is a one-time open bodybuilding Mr. O. So it's kind of cool to see two Mr. O's having a conversation. Sergio Oliva Jr. won New York Pro last year, which is a big win in his own right. But still, a lot of this is bullshit. And that's what I'm saying, guys. It's bullshit. You sound silly. You sound silly. It's all competition. That's like in the UFC, the heavyweights talking shit about the welterweights, where the heavyweights were once the marquee division in the UFC. But the talent pool was such that the fights were not compelling anymore. The skill set just wasn't there. And we could say the same about open bodybuilding right now because it's not like it was in the 90s. You do not have the same genetic talent entering the open pro ranks in bodybuilding anymore. I believe we all agree on that. That's a fact. The top 10 in the Mr. Olympia and the Arnold Classic kind of drops off the cliff once you get out of the top 3, top 4, top 5. It's a pretty fall drop. The number 6 guy and the number 1 guy, it's a vastly different physique. Back in the 90s when Haney was winning and Sean Ray and Lee Labrada and Kevin Lavroni and Dexter Jackson was in the mix and Flex Wheeler and Nasser El Sambani and Gunter Schlierkamp. Back in those days, fuck, man. Chris Cormier, of course, running around doing his thing. And, as my dead brain cells reactivate, I can name 20 top bodybuilders that all fucking look great. The top 15 could easily crush themselves into the top 6. You can't say that about men's open right now. And that sucks because I still consume men's open. I still consume classic. I kind of don't consume the physique. So I'm actually, as a spectator, I'm more biased towards the open categories simply because it's more of a spectacle. The physique dudes, they look more like my fighters. I got some of my fighters like a Mirsad Bektik, who did compete in bodybuilding back in the day, but he would fit very well on a classic physique stage. And he would be a top placer with his current physique. He's a number 5 ranked featherweight in the world in the UFC. So a lot of my athletes, they could walk onto a physique stage. And that's what I mean. It's a lower threshold of entry. By no means is that a disrespect. It just means that you don't have to have the extra 40, 60, 80 pounds of muscle mass on your physique to enter a men's physique competition. Classic is a slightly higher threshold, and then the open is a much higher threshold. That being said, guys, come on, you sound silly. That's what I want to say. That's what Uncle Mike is saying here. That's what I want to say. But if you want to settle it like men, if you want to settle it like real men, well, you can come on out to Las Vegas to the Dolce Diet and Fitness Center, and we can set up our own little octagon or ring. You guys can sign the waiver, and I will referee, and you can go mano a mano, toe to toe. You can throw down. You can actually throw punches like you kind of allude to. And that's what I say. The tough guy persona just doesn't really fit most bodybuilders very well. Now, I know a few bodybuilders that are fucking gangsters. They will put a gun in your fucking mouth faster than they will put a fist in your face. That being said, most of those squawking on Instagram, it looks silly. So stop it, guys. Give each other respect. Be ambassadors of your sport. What Buendia said inherently was not wrong when Mr. Olympia, 6 or 7 time, I think 7-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath, open category, has already bashed the physique athletes and bashed the classic athletes. So if you have the open, and I think Phil Heath is a douchebag. I don't like Phil Heath because of his public persona and things that he and his lady had said about Ronda Rousey after one of Ronda's losses. It shows that Phil is an extremely insecure egomaniac, and he does not have a true championship mentality. So Phil Heath off, and I don't even like Phil's physique. Yeah, he's won the O a few times, but nobody wants to look like Phil Heath. Right? Nobody wants to look like Phil Heath, whatever. So he's just a fucking wash. I'll take a Dexter Jackson over a Phil Heath any day, all fucking day long. But that being said, Phil Heath went out there and bashed physique, men's physique, and he bashed classic. Oh, where was all the big backlash? There wasn't a big backlash. I didn't see the open bodybuilders coming out and being like, yo, Phil, that's fucked up. Everybody's here training hard, competing too. And I think that's what it should be about. It should be inclusive. Like I said, the heavyweights don't bash the welterweights, where the welterweights are the marquee division. The lightweights are the marquee division. The lower weights in the UFC right now are the marquee divisions. Those are the ones that sell the big pay-per-view numbers. No longer it is the heavyweights. You don't see the heavyweights talking shit because they're all on the card together. Everybody plays their role. And as bodybuilding and as culture and pop culture trends change, you will see the open bodybuilding category come in and out of favor the same way it has in the 30 plus years that I've been following it. I've seen it come and go a few times. Classic physique is on a surge right now. That will come and go. The men's physique will come and go. Bikini will come and go. All of this will come and go. Nobody's talking about what happened to women's open bodybuilding. That's gone. So Buendia had a point. Men's physique and women's bikini definitely did, pardon my language, inject. They were like trend for the sport. They injected a PED into the mass appeal of the sport, and they helped support what the open category men's were doing, and they replaced the void that was lost by the open female category. I think the open female category should be on the Olympia stage, and it's a shame that they're not. But due to attendance and due to the numbers, due to the hard analytics, it fell off. And it's business. We get that it's business. So what Buendia said, and I'm not a fan of Buendia per se, I don't follow him, but what he said was not incorrect. But I think there was a little bit of butthurt on the open side. Guys, you got to have thicker skin, man. You compete in a pageant. And I say that with respect. You stand on stage and you get judged by a panel of people who are like, do I like this one or do I like that one? And truly, what gym does he train at? What does he say in the media? Who looks better on a magazine cover? Who has a larger social media following? We know that's fucking true because I'm buddies with some of these IFBB pros and I'm buddies with some of the judges. I know what goes on behind the scenes. A lot of it's subjective fucking horseshit. There's no true analytics behind your sport. Like I'll keep talking about MMA and the UFC. You get knocked the fuck out, man. You get choked the fuck out. We have a pretty specific criteria. Now, there is a little bit of fuckery every so often, but by and large, 90, 95, 99% of the time, the fights that do go the distance are pretty well judged. One card, one bout every few cards is a little suspicious. But for the most part, our analytics are on point. This is a sport. You guys, you're athletes, hard training athletes. And I've always said bodybuilders are some of the hardest training athletes on the planet. So don't take me out of context here, but you're competing in a pageant. You have to have thicker skin here and let people express their opinions. But you guys should be supporting each other to grow the sport. You should be collaborating with each other to grow the sport. You should be doing workouts with each other to grow this sport, to grow your own Insta followings. Fuck, Jerry Buendia has almost 2 million followers. Sergio Oliva, who I fucking think looks awesome. I like the Sergio Oliva's type of physique. I would aspire to look more like Sergio Oliva than I personally would Buendia. That's just me. I don't have the structure to look like either for sure. But Sergio Oliva has what? He's got 192,000. Jeremy Buendia has 1.9 million followers. That says something. Dexter Jackson, quote, only has 770,000 followers on Instagram. It shows that there's an appeal. Now, Phil Heath has, I think, a little over 2 million or so. He's got somewhere. Phil Heath has got some pretty big numbers, as he should. He's the reigning Mr. O, and of course, you got to respect that. But that being said, you guys should be playing well with each other. Right? I think that's one of the big problems in bodybuilding, why bodybuilding doesn't grow as well as it should, because it remains this selfish, cult-minded sport. And there's so much inside back-talking, backstabbing fuckery. Every coach and trainer and guru is constantly telling everybody how each other sucks. Every athlete is always talking about how all the other athletes suck. Every organization is trying to bar and prohibit any athlete from even attending expos put on other organizations. It's very close-minded, very close-minded. And those of you who run businesses, who understand business, you need to open them borders. You need to open the borders, open the conversation, collaborate, cross-migrate your population and your lists. Cross-migrate the followers that you have. This is just one guy's thought, right? This is just my fucking thought. But I have a very similar role inside the world of mixed martial arts in the UFC. We work with the top athletes on the fucking planet. We work with NFL and NBA and MLB and NHL, Olympic athletes, endurance athletes, triathletes, all that. We work with the top of the top, the best of the best. So I understand the mentality of these athletes. But if I may, to wrap this up, and I'll ask some of your questions, to answer some of your questions here real quick. If I may, guys, dude, just calm down. Unless you're doing it for clicks, it's fake beef, right? It might be fake beef. Jeremy Buendia is actually really good at creating beef, which drives his channel and gets exposure. I'm every fucking, and I'm only talking about it because it's like every other video recommended to me is about Jeremy Buendia versus Sergio Oliva, or Dexter Jackson calls out Jeremy Buendia, and everybody's talking about it. Nick Strength and Power's talking about it, and Palumbo's talking about it. I haven't seen Louis Marco talk about it yet, but Generation Iron and Sean Ray's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. So I figured I'd chime in, give my 2 cents for what it's worth, take it or leave it. There's my 2 cents. Let me answer your questions. Millie says, looking lean and fucking healthy. Dolce diet, baby. Fuck yeah, Millie. We're working hard, baby. Train like an athlete over here. Ephedrine, what's up, Dolce? What's up, my man? Alex A. Hi, Alex. Roman Graham, what's up, Roman? Good to see you. Mr. MIA, sup, Mike? How long did you train before your first fight? Dude, like 3 weeks. I took it on 3 weeks notice. I was across the country, my first amateur fight ever. Took it on super short notice. Never should have taken it, but it was a bucket list. Fuck it. I'm training. I'm in decent shape. I had to cut like 40 pounds for my first fight. Stupid, but I know how to cut weight. Cut weight, went out there, flew out to Portland, Oregon, fought Bristol Marundi, who went on to fight inside the UFC. Bristol had some experience. He was like 6-0. I was 0-0 when I went into that fight. I blew my nut in the first 2 minutes, figuratively speaking. I went out there, didn't know what the fuck I was doing, just throwing big fucking bombs. We had some good scrambles. It was a good little scrap for the first 2 or 3 minutes or so. And then Bristol got on top of me. I shot in a bad, sloppy shot. Bristol got on top, sprawled out, real heavy hips. He's a former wrestler also. And he just TKO'd me from the top. First amateur fight, the ref jumped in and stopped it. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't even cut from the fight, but Bristol, he had a dominant position for sure. The ref did the right thing. So I flew out there and I got my ass kicked, basically. And it was a good learning experience. I was happy. I got up and I smiled like, fuck, I did it. I fucking did it. And I went on and I won my next 6 fights in a row, all 6 by knockout, which is pretty interesting. And then I had kind of a journeyman career after that. Got knocked out, knocked out terribly. After that, 6 fights in a row, got knocked out. I think I went on a 6-fight skid, because of coaches and mental and all this other crazy shit. They changed my fighting style. My fault for allowing it. I could get deeper into that story. But I never fought. I always fought for the fun of it. And I fought for the experience of it. I was always a full-time coach, and I fought for the experience to make the walk, to go through the process, to feel what my athletes feel. And I was able to make some pretty good money in it because I was marketable. I was a knockout dude, former wrestler with knockout power. I would put dudes down. I got on the season 7 of The Ultimate Fighter, first round fucking knockout. Knocked my fucking Prince McLean, who's a nice guy. It's like 6'6", fucking scary looking black dude. I was like, oh fuck. Trained with Rich Franklin. That was his main sparring partner. Oh fuck. Ducked under, fucking boom, big overhand right hook, dropped him like a fucking sack of potatoes. And it is what it is. So I was marketable because I had that wide open fight style, but I was a little sloppy and I didn't spend enough time refining my skills as I should have as a fighter. But I was always a part-time fighter. I was a full-time strength coach, and that was always the issue. So there's a little background of Uncle Mikey. Darren Mills, hi from the UK. You are the most honest man on nutrition and training, and everyone should listen. Keep up the great work. Darren, I appreciate that, man. What we do here is honesty and transparency, right? That's what we want to give you guys. Like me just talking about my fight career. I wasn't a great fighter. I was like a 50-50 journeyman, but I put on some big fucking fights, and I never really got my ass kicked. And I fought world champions like Delson Heleno, Antonio McKee, took them to decisions. I fucking fought my ass off. I never fucking quit. I got choked out. I got knocked out a couple times, lights off, woke up with the fucking, I remember one time I fought Mike Pierce. Stupid fight. I went out there. I got fucking dropped on the first punch. First fucking punch. Jesus Christ. I was ready. He threw a big overhand. I was waiting for a double leg. I was waiting to sprawl out. He fucking, great job on his part. He feints the shot, throws a big overhand. Boom, lights off. I woke up in the fucking locker room. Alls I remember, and here's funny about that fight. I remember my cornerman, Tom Smario, legendary cut man. Tom Smario says, listen, the first minute you circle. Use your feet. Don't throw a punch. For the first minute, you circle. I said, yes, coach. And I looked at Mike and I was like, I'm just going to hit him one time. In my mind, I'm just going to hit him one time because I hit hard. I want to scare him a little bit. So I moved straight forward. Just to hit him one time. What happened? He dipped under, feigning the double leg, throws his big overhand. Boom, punk. And really, all I remember is me thinking, I'm going to hit him one time. I wake up on a leather recliner in my locker room. It was at the Portland Rose Garden where the Trailblazer played. So really posh NBA backstage area. My wife is standing there. Nate Quarry, my other corner man, very famous Nate Quarry, great guy, my corner man, and the doctor. And I remember Nate being like, he's for the last time, Dolce, you got knocked out. If you ask me one more time, I'm gonna knock you out again. And I was like, huh, oh, what's up, Nate? Which means I was in and out. I was like, oh, okay. And so I'd ask like the question 3 times. What happened? What happened? Yeah, you went out there, threw a punch, he clipped you, got knocked out. Oh, okay. Hey, well, what guys, what happened? Wait, what happened? Like, I'm supposed to fight. No, Dolch, you already fought, you lost, you got knocked out. Oh, okay. That happened like 3 times, and Nate was finally like, listen, you got knocked the fuck out. Stop. And I remember that. I don't remember anything. It was like, so I lost like 2 minutes of my life in between. I say that because it's true. And I'm saying, why God go down that road? Because it's transparent. I don't give a fuck. That's the truth. That's what happened. Most of these fools out there, they'll never talk about the time they got knocked the fuck out. I don't give a fuck. I could give I went out there, I made a stupid, and that was a lesson learned. Oh my God, it was such a good experience for me. Lesson learned. I have wisdom from a man who trained marvelous Marvin Hagler, Tom Smario. Wisdom from this man, the cut man, legendary cut man. You can look him up, Tom Smario. He told me exactly what to do. Had I done that, it would have been a completely different fight. But I didn't. My ego got in the way. I just let my ego take over for one action, one thought. I let my ego take over, and I fucking wake up in the back room with Nate Quarry threatening to fucking knock me out a second time. Funny. So transparency, that's what we do. I appreciate Darren, I appreciate your note. That's what I try to do. Just honesty, whether it's nutrition, lifestyle, whatever, man. I'm an open book. Whatever I can do for you guys, I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. Like it or not, people get triggered. I'm sorry if they do. I'm going to tell you the truth as I see it based upon the experience that we have and the evidence which we've uncovered. That's the truth. Jason Montoya, new Dolce video equals several minutes of knowledge, transparency, and awesomeness. Jason, I appreciate that. There we go. Transparency. That's the key here. I am the most honest man in fitness. That is my title. Patented, trademark, the most honest man in fitness right here, guys and girls. And I live up to that, and I will live up to that, and keep me accountable to live up to that. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. That's who we are. Werber, hey Mike, good to see you, sir. Does the 3 weeks of shredded online program have pure body weight workouts or weights have to be used? Werber, it's both. Though, I had a speech impediment as a kid, by the way. So every so often I kind of slur my words, plus I speak really fast. I get a little lazy lipped. That being said, the Dolce Diet on dolcediet.com online weight loss program, the 4-week or 12-week online weight loss program is the most successful ever devised. It is the most sophisticated ever created. It is available for you based upon the same science we use to get our world-class athletes on weight and in shape for world-class competition. That being said, Werber, we have a database of over 200 additional exercises that you can substitute in and out for the exercises that we suggest for you. Because when you go to the dolcediet.com and you sign up, you are given a personalized nutrition program and a personalized exercise program. If for some reason your exercise program has you doing a barbell back squat or a goblet squat, let's say, and you don't have one or the other of the implements, go to the resource section and we have a whole database on lower body exercises or core exercise or upper body or arms or whatever it is. And you can just simply pick a similar exercise that modifies. We have body weight, we have sandbag, we have elastic band. We even have partner exercises for those combat athletes like buddy carries and military would do. So yes, all options are available. Plus our customer support team is on site, on demand, is available 7 days per week to answer any and every question you have. If something doesn't make sense, just shoot us a question and we will answer it for you in near real time. Boom. Carlos Ruiz, how many times would you recommend repeating 3 weeks to shredded? We've had people repeat it for months. The beauty of 3 weeks of shredded, when you go to the dolcediet.com, you start on day 1, you end on day 21. By restarting at day 1, you simply reverse diet because it's a very similar makeup. The ingredients are very similar. What we do is we waive the total calories and the macronutrients, whether we're carb cycling within the same fixed calorie range, or we're calorie cycling through a variety of macro ranges. We wave you down to you hit your peak on day 21, and then you can reset. We call it round two. You can reset back to day one of 3 weeks to shred it, and you can continue that decline back again. It's a form of reverse dieting, and that's the way that we built it in. Johan, thoughts on apple cider vinegar? I like apple cider vinegar in concept. I like the science, but it tears my stomach up. It really does. Tears my stomach up. It's very, very harsh on my stomach. Some people love it. I know people that'll drink out of the bottle like it's water. Me, on the other hand, no. So what I'll do is I'll mix a few tablespoons diluted in water, 8, 12 ounces of water. I'll drink it down that way, but it's up to you. I would recommend you suggest, or I suggest that you try it for yourself. Nikolai, bodybuilding isn't about I want to look like that anymore. Bring classics back. Nikolai, I agree. Bodybuilding isn't like that anymore. It's kind of like, with respect, it's a freak show. We watch bodybuilding now because it's like, wow, like mind blowing. And the dudes like the big Rammies and the Roly Winklers, athletes like that, they do it for the shock value. They do it to be those big, massive, crazy freaks, and that's cool. But most people don't want to look like that anymore. I get that. Odin, bodybuilders know what's up. They're getting sensitive, firing shots to protect their territory. I think the animosity is good. And let it, it is what it is. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not like forcing anybody. I'm not calling anybody out. But dude, you guys need to have softer skin. You compete in the pageant. It's very subjective. You need thicker skin to be on a bodybuilding stage. You really do. Jeremy Buendia supporting what his division does. You got to be like, respect that. And he's got some points. Yeah, he's got some points when you look at the analytics of the finances. He's got some fucking points. Doesn't mean he's right 100%, but still, there's a different way to engage, I would say. But, what? This is just my opinion, right? This is an op ed. Nikolai, people don't want to look like Phil Heath. Props to Phil's. He's successful, but come on, guys. He has no width. Sorry, it just zipped away. He has no width. His arms are oversized. It's all poofy muscle. I agree that I'm not a fan of Phil's physique. Say that I'll take the personality. I don't like his personality at all. At all. I think he's a bad representative of the sport, and most people inside the industry feel the same way. Physique wise, he has some spectacular body parts, but put them together, it just doesn't look good. And he'll point to his multi Olympias to say that, to prove that that's why he's great. I don't care. Nobody cares. Most people don't like Phil Heath. It's not because he's successful, not at all. It's because he's a dickhead. That's the big reason. That's my opinion anyway. He's a fucking douchebag. I would love to get behind a champion, for sure. Like Lee Haney, Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman. I applaud those. I don't know those guys, never met those guys, but they were classy and they were gentlemen. They were gentlemen, sportsmen. They were good ambassadors of the sport. Phil Heath, man, that's an egomaniac, a narcissist. All he cares about himself. Flossing. He looks fucking stupid. You can have class. And the way he and his girl spoke, like gloating over Ronda Rousey losing because she was, quote, cocky, bro, like that just shows he has no ability to see himself for who he truly is. Because Phil's day will come when somebody blows his fucking doors off, blows his doors off. And then he'll be figuratively in the same position that a great world champion, an Olympic medalist like a Ronda Rousey, a real athlete, like a real athlete who actually competes in a sport. Phil competes in a fucking pageant, to keep it real. And he talks like a fucking tough guy and a badass, but we all know he's fucking not. We all know he's not. I would put $1 million fucking dollars that Ronda Rousey would fucking submit him in a minute. In a fucking minute, she'd break his arm or choke him the fuck out cold. No doubt. And I don't think anybody doubts that. But the way he spoke about, number one, a female, he spoke with such like joy about a female getting knocked out. Well, that's disgusting. And then he spoke about a champion losing her belt in such a manner that shows his true colors. So I lost me as a fan for sure. And then the whole like Louis Marco thing of last year, like, bro, man, you're the fucking champ. Act like it. Just truly doesn't know how to be a champion and walk around as a champion. So that's my 2 cents. That's my opinion. Nikolai, Sergio would kill these mass monsters. Hopefully, we'll see, man. I like Sergio's physique. We'll see how he progresses over the next year or two. Luis, it's about time someone mentions bodybuilders talking smack about the MP and the CP. Yep, men's physique and classic physique. They don't respect them, but at the end of the day, each division diets, trains, and makes sacrifices. All these fucking guys and girls sacrifice. Even fucking Phil Heath. I respect the hustle. These motherfuckers sacrifice. They do things to their body that they should not do. They take such massive risks with their health that they shouldn't do, but they do it anyway. And there's something about that it's hard to say I respect it because I don't condone it. But at the same time, you can't say these motherfuckers aren't focused and train their asses off, because they do. They literally lay it all on the line. And that's not said to glorify them. It's actually a criticism. They take it too far, but you can't say that they're not willing to die for their fucking sport or their craft. They are. So I'm kind of like on the fence about like giving credit, but at the same time, I don't want to glorify it because that's some scary stuff. David, love your stuff. My father had a double lung transplant at 67. They don't today normally do that at his age. He is doing better than the average. It's all from doing your principles. He always lived your lifestyle. David, holy shit, man, my man. That is just incredible and amazing. I can't take any credit for it, but thank you so much. Whatever we can do to offer education and inspiration to you, to your family, to start making mindful decisions in your best interest, in the best interest, of your health. Of course, always under medical supervision and under doctor's care. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing, David. My best to your family and to your father. That's you kind of you caught me at a loss here, man. That's something special because that's what we do. We're a longevity company. We work with the world's greatest athletes. That's all nice and dandy, but I really could care less about world titles and $1 million paydays. We want humans to live long, healthy, vital lives. That's what we do here. What we found is when you focus on longevity, the short-term performance and cosmetic enhancements take care of themselves. So, David, God bless you. God bless your father. You're in my thoughts, my friend. Feel free to send me an email to support@thedolcediet.com. I would love a little more of your story. I'm happy to send you and your dad out some t-shirts and some books or some swag, just as like a little tip of my hat and maybe just some extra motivation or just to give you guys some new recipes even. That you can clear with your doctor and make sure they're appropriate, because this is not medical advice. This is information and education purposes only. Always got to be clear on that. But brother, that's awesome, man. That's fucking awesome, bro. Good for you. Very happy to hear. Matt Jacobman, Dolce, gray in the beard is slick. Could one use the Dolce diet recipes to become a bodybuilder? This is my wisdom right here. The rest of this is just me being a fucking idiot, but that's the little bit of wisdom that I have. Can could one use the Dolce diet recipes to become a bodybuilder? You could, more as a natural bodybuilder, but I mean, if you're on PEDs and everything pretty much works. If you look at an athlete like Mirsad Bektik, look at Mirsad Bektik's weigh-in photos, look at Thiago Alves's weigh-in photos when he was actually working with us. We don't work with Thiago anymore for a few fights now, but you look at an athlete like Mirsad Bektik, even Rampage Jackson, when we were working with Rampage Jackson, they're pretty fucking chiseled physiques. Now, they don't train for the aesthetics like a bodybuilder does. So they don't have the same kind of shape and form to their physique. But when you look at the preservation of lean muscle tissue and the reduction of non-functional body weight, i.e., subcutaneous visceral body fat, but also water retention, edema, inflammation. That's what we do with the Dolce diet, because our athletes have to weigh in on Friday. Typically, they have to weigh in on Friday as light as possible, but they have to compete at a world-class level 24 hours later. They have to fight nonstop for 25 minutes the day after they weigh in. Now, for the bodybuilders, imagine the day you compete if you had the same energy as you had 6 weeks before competition. Imagine having that energy while you stepped on stage. That's what we do here at the Dolce Diet. So our specific goal is not to bring that aesthetic package to the stage. Our specific goal is to bring the healthiest possible version of a human into the competitive arena while focused on what's known as the power to kilogram ratio, while ensuring maximum power can be exerted while at the lowest possible total body weight. That's kind of the goal here with what we do. So no non-functional weight is allowed. Can we spare? Because that tips the ratio. So I would say it's a good start. Now, what you can do, you can work with our team of registered dietitians. So we have a team of RDs and even physique or bikini competitors. Nicole Rogers, who took second in the Canadian Nationals in bikini, works with us. I'm also Miss Meg 40, MSRD, LRD, DDC. She's our lead dietitian. She's absolutely amazing. And what we can do is we can certainly offer we'll go into, we cover medical nutrition therapy, but we can give you the healthiest possible version of nutrition and exercise instruction to build your physique. We're not a bodybuilding company. We're even not an MMA company. We are a longevity company. We just so happen to work with the world's greatest athletes. That's probably the best and most honest answer I can give you. But even guys and girls who are bodybuilding out there, you got to look out for your health. You gotta look out for your health. Everybody listening, please go to your doctor and get your blood work done. Get your blood work done every 3 months. Become good friends with your doctor. That's a mandatory. And address all issues as they are when they come up. That's why every 3 months is mandatory. So that's my soapbox. Zach says bodybuilding is dying because of the younger generation. It's all about I want that look and I want it now. Zach Gilbert, that's a good point. Steroids mess everything up, bro. That's a great point. A lot of these young kids now, and this gets me mad about a lot of these fucking fitness frauds out there. We all know they're taking shitloads of fucking PEDs, yet they're pushing these bullshit template programs and they're pointing to their BCAAs or whatever supplement stack they're doing. They're getting these kids hooked on pharmaceuticals and hooked on supplements and eating disordered eating programs while promising world class results. That's not the fucking case. What we talk about is we will get you as healthy as possible, as lean as possible, as light as possible within specific timelines as it's right for you. We meet you where you are and we walk that journey with you. I will never say you will look like Mirsad Bektik in 3 weeks. I will never say you will fight like Ronda Rousey in 3 weeks. I will never say you look like Jeremy Buendia or Sergio Oliva Jr. in 3 weeks. Of course not. What we will do, we will make the most progress, the most efficient progress for you in that period of time based upon all of our experience and all of the scientific evidence that we've been able to collect and aggregate and implement over the last 20 plus years. So that's a different conversation than what a lot of these turds put out there. We just make you the best version of you during that period of time. We don't give you false promises. You're not going to be Paige Hathaway in 2 weeks. You can have or 3 weeks. You can have a fucking banging body for you. We can make dramatic improvements for you. We want you to be the best version of you. And that's all you should be aspiring to be. I will never look like Jeremy Buendia. I will never look like Phil Heath even. I will never look like Flex Wheeler, who ruined bodybuilding for me when I saw Flex in 1993. Ruined it. I'll never look like that. But I've looked like the best version of myself for over 20 fucking years. And I always set goals for myself. That's what it's about. Mike Cole, Dolce, what up? Having my PM snack, orange avocado coconut water with a protein shake. Boom. Mike Cole's following the 3 weeks of shredded program on the dolcediet.com. I know that for a fact because I know that meal all too well. I love it. Seth, what's up, Seth? Good to see you, my man. King, I don't have an idea what to buy to eat. Seth, go to thedolcediet.com right now. Sign up for our 4 or 12-week online personalized diet and exercise program. Every meal, every ingredient, every recipe is tailored specifically for you. For you. Just go through this. Just do the 4-week program, figure out what to eat, and then fucking cancel it and then move on and make your own suggestions. Figure it out. Go through the 12-week program and we teach you everything to eat every meal, every day. We give you a database of 200 additional recipes that you can start to substitute in and out so you don't need us anymore. That's the goal. The goal is for us to educate you so you don't need us anymore. That's our goal. We just assume you will walk into the office and people will be like, God damn, you look awesome. What are you doing? TheDolceDiet.com. And people will sign up because you are a shining example. We don't want your fucking money unless you're going to have amazing results. That's the whole point of this. And we don't want you to be stuck in our system forever. We want you to go through the system once, maybe twice, if that's what you need, because some people have a little fall off or transition, or we got people in our system that are over 400 plus pounds. losing weight. We got people in our system, shit, they only have 4 pounds to lose. Everyone is different. We want to be there for as long as you need us to gain the education necessary, develop the habits. We call the first 4 weeks the health and habit phase. Once you have it locked in, off and running. Go, go, go. And then we're always here. That's why I do these live streams all the time for you guys, all for free. For free. Zach Gilbert, avocado chicken steak, rice, fruit, vegetables, etc. Love it. Mark says, great interview on Below the Belt. Keep spreading the knowledge. Mark, I appreciate that. If you guys haven't listened, I did Brendan Schaub's Below the Belt radio show, podcast, TV show on YouTube for Showtime. So on YouTube, just type in Below the Belt, Brendan Schaub's show. I'm the most recent episode. We get down and dirty. I think my segment starts just about an hour and 9 minutes in, and then we go for about an hour and a half. It is hardcore nutrition, weight cutting, fitness fallacies. We get deep into keto and paleo and intermittent fasting and all the bullshit that floats around. Go and check that one out. It's an awesome one. Really enjoyed the conversation with Brandon too. He's a smart guy. He's a former NFL player and UFC fighter. Two-sport pro, that dude is. It's really cool to talk to him. Wow, lot more questions. Let me try and wrap this up. What's up, Dolce? Thanks for the motivation. Danny Peterson, you got it, my brother. SoCal Seth, the bicep of truth, the tricep of integrity, the pecs of excellence, the quads of genius, the delts of knowledge. I like that, Seth. I love that. Keep it coming, my man. How about the hair? The hair of despair. That's what we'll call it. That's cool. SoCal Seth says, by the way, your chicken pineapple fried quinoa is becoming like a Kit Kat. That's one of our recipes on the Dolce diet. Our fried chicken pineapple with fried quinoa is so fucking delicious and so healthy and nutritious. You will steal from your mama to buy the ingredients. That's not true. You would never steal from your mama. Willie Torgerson, what are your thoughts on drinking V8 tomato juice? I mean, in zombie apocalypse, then yeah, maybe. But for the most part, no. Just make your own. Buy your own fresh fruit. Buy your own produce. Make your own in-house smoothies. Whole food smoothies, not cold-pressed juices. Kirsten Calloway, Triple D time. What's up, Kirsten? Good to see you, young lady. Kirsten, I'm glad Carlos Ruiz asked that question. What if we want to do a second round of 3 weeks of shredded but purchase a 12-week plan? Can we put one plan on hold and purchase the new 3 weeks of shredded with our weight info? Kirsten, 100% you can. Just click the contact tab inside your dashboard or just send us an email to support@thedolcediet.com and our team will get you taken care of. We take care of everybody. Vasta and Kirsten, by the way, keep crushing it, young lady. You inspire me. You really inspire me from when you started to what you're doing now. I absolutely love it. You're inspirational. Keep crushing it, girl. Vistal, is bodybuilding even a sport? No, I think it's fair to say, and this is no disrespect, bodybuilding is not a sport. And I'll do a video on this. I'm going to get a few of my bodybuilding friends, and we'll kind of even debate it. Bodybuilding is not a sport. Bodybuilding is a pageant. It's subjective. It's a subjective pageant. That's fine. And that's not a disrespect. Bodybuilders are athletes. They train like athletes. They epitomize the definition of an athlete. But bodybuilding itself, bodybuilding competition is a pageant. The same way that the Miss America pageant is. It's not like a horse race. A horse race is a sport. Bodybuilding is a pageant. And that's fair. That's not a disrespect. It's not a criticism. But it is what it is. We have to call it like it is. It's not a sport. The bodybuilders are athletes. So don't take this out of context. You can't say one without the other. The bodybuilders are athletes, and they are amongst the hardest training, most disciplined, most sacrificing athletes of any athlete on the planet by far. But they compete in a pageant, and that's okay. But most of bodybuilders, they compete against themselves every day in the gym. That's the difference here. Kirsten says, and then continue. Yeah, Kirsten, no problem. The team will take care of you. Roman Grimm, I hope Big Ramy comes in peeled and blows Heath's doors off. That could happen, but who knows? I may or may not. It's always tough to say. Tony Shades, do you think we should have USADA like testing in bodybuilding so 99% of the people are natural? The sport would die. The sport would immediately die because the athletes would not look the way that they do without massive amounts of PEDs. It just wouldn't happen. They look more like soccer players or tennis players, and those athletes are even on PEDs. So if USADA came into the sport of bodybuilding, there would be no bodybuilding at all. It would be completely useless. Nobody would watch. You'd look like you would see better physiques on a beach somewhere. Wicked advice given on Brendan's podcast. Hot dog, I appreciate that. That's the Below the Belt podcast with Brendan Schaub. Later, Aram. What's your view on dietary cholesterol? Well, give me what do you mean specifically? Give me more specifics, please. Well, actually, I'll do a long form video on that one. That because we should get down deeper. A lot of people don't understand dietary cholesterol. What's your view on cholesterol? Bicep of Truth doesn't know how to lie ever, never, ever. The Bicep Truth will never, ever, ever tell a lie, ever tell a lie. Did Brendan mention what his diet is like now these days? He didn't really get too deep into it. Azza says he was once sick on JRE from smashing too much MCT oil. I mean, that's a little crazy. We had off camera, off my conversations. I can't share. Bodybuilding would not look like tennis players just because they don't take gear. What the hell, man? Well, yeah, come on, man. Not exactly like tennis players, but some fucking tennis players, man, look fucking awesome. They're fucking shredded. They just don't hold the size because they don't train for it. But most of these bodybuilders, I mean, would take the gear out of bodybuilding. Nobody's paying to go to the show. Nobody's paying to go to the show, right? They'll look like, at best, they'll look like Olympic gymnasts, dieted down. And that's awesome. That looks great, but nobody's going to pay for it. And even those Olympic gymnasts are probably fucking doping. Maybe I don't know. I don't work with any gymnasts. It'd be interesting. I would assume that they would though, because they're fucking insane what they do. But maybe not. Who knows? All right, guys and girls, that is it. 46 minutes in the books. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at The Dolce Diet and go to thedolcediet.com to start your 4 or 12-week online personalized weight loss program. And last, July 6th, 7th, and 8th here in Las Vegas, the DDC, the Dolce Diet Certification and Nutrition Conference is happening. This is during International Fight Week, which is fucking awesome. The town swells. It is amazing. Get your ass here July 6th, 7th, and 8th in Las Vegas. You can go to dolcedietshop.com to reserve your seat for our 3-day nutrition conference, seminar, motivation, inspiration, education, fucking fire. You're in this facility with us, and it is fire. It is awesome. And we got some great guest speakers coming in too. Go to dolcedietshop.com for that. And until next time, I will talk to you. Boo.